Unit 3, Learning Target Number 9. Solve word problems involving division of fractions. Anytime we're solving word problems, we want to remember our steps in solving a problem. So, first off, we want to remember to understand the problem. You won't be able to get the problem correct if you don't read and understand what they're asking for. Make sure you understand what they're doing and also create a story for yourself in your mind to understand what's going on in the problem. Number 2, underline the important information. Make sure you underline the important things. That way you won't forget about them. Number 3, draw a picture. If you can draw a picture, then you can get an idea in your mind of what's going on, and that will help you solve the problem. Fourth, do the calculations. You won't be able to solve the problem unless you do the math. Last, check your answer. It'll do you no good if you go through all that work and then you find out at the last minute that the answer that you gave didn't make any sense. Take the time to do all these steps and you should be successful. Let's try our first problem. How many half-cup servings of pudding can be made from 2/3 of a cup of pudding? So, using our steps, number 1, let's understand the problem. What are they asking us? They're asking us how many half cups can fit inside a 2/3 cup of pudding. So we've got a 2/3 cup bowl of pudding, and we're trying to find out how many smaller 1/2 cups can be made from that 2/3 cup. So if you think of it over here, we can have this as 2/3 of a cup of pudding, and we're trying to find the smaller amounts. Now, second, we're going to underline the important information. What's important in this problem? Well, 1, we have a half cup serving, and we have 2/3 of a cup of pudding. So we have here, this is 2/3, and each cup that we're going to divide this into is 1/2 of a cup. So 1/2 here and 1/2 here. Now, what kind of an operation is that? So we've drawn our picture. What kind of operation is that? Well, if we're taking something large and we're dividing it up into smaller pieces, that's going to be division. So let's begin to do our calculations. We're dividing a 2/3 cup container of pudding into 1/2 groupings, or 1/2 cups. Now, to do the calculation, we remember KCF, keep, change, flip. So we change our we keep our first fraction, we change our division sign to multiplication, and we flip our second fraction from 1/2 to 2/1. And then we simply do multiplication. Multiply the top times the top, and the bottom times the bottom. That gives us 4/3, which we then need, realizing that it's an improper fraction, we need to make sure to convert that to a mixed number. And that is 1, because 3 goes into 4 one time, and with 1 left over, and we'll put that over 3. So our answer is 1 1/3 cup. That is how much we'll get out of here. We'll get 1 of these, we'll get 1 of this, and then we'll get about 1/3 of this one. And that's your answer. We'll use our same process to solve this particular problem. To find the area of a rectangle, multiply the length of the rectangle times the width. Some of you might remember this, some of you might not. But remember that the area of a rectangle is equal to the length times the width. We are given that the area of a rectangle is 6/8 of a foot squared, and the length is 1/4 of a foot. What is the width of the rectangle? Now, when we see that something is 6/8 of a foot squared, that is just a way of measuring. So this foot squared does not mean we're actually going to square this for our problem. We're just going to remember that this is 6/8 of a foot. And the length is 1/4 of a foot. So what do we have? We've been given the area, and we've been given the length. What we don't have is the width. And so we're to find out what is the width. So what we have is area equal length times width, and we're looking for this guy right here. That means we are going to create a variable to solve this problem, and we'll fill out the rest of the equation. We have the area is equal to 6/8 of a foot. We have that the length is equal to 1/4 of a foot, and this is equal to x. Now, if you remember from when we were solving equations, all we have to do is divide here. We take our 1/4 here, and we cancel those out because 1/4 divided by 1/4 is 1, and that leaves us with x. Here we have to divide 6/8 by 1/4. So let's do that. And just like before, it's going to leave us with keep, change, flip. And we'll keep the first fraction, change to multiplication, and flip our second fraction. That will leave us with 24/8. And what is 24 divided by 8? That is 3. So we'll check our answer. Our area is 6/8, and that should be equal to the length, 1/4, times the width, which is 3. And if we multiply these together, we get 3 times 1 is 3, and that's over 4. Now that is not the same answer, right? 3/4 is not equal to 6/8. Or is it? Because 6/8 can be simplified. If we multiply 3 times 2, we get 6. If we multiply 4 times 2, we get 8 for 6/8. And that is our answer. We understood the problem. We underlined the important information. We already had a picture drawn out for us. We did the calculations, and we checked our answer. Let's try another. Hannah is making cookies for a community fundraiser. She needs the ingredients below. So we're going to understand this problem. These are the things that she needs. She needs 3/4 of a cup of flour, 1½ cups of milk, and 2/3 cup of sugar. Hannah wants to make 4½ batches. So not just one batch, but 4½ batches of cookies. How much of these ingredients will she need? So we know that we want to give the number, or how much of these ingredients she needs, and we know we're going to use 4½ and we know we're going to use each of these guys here. Now, if we had to make 2 batches of each one of these, then we'd simply double this. If it was 3 times, we'd triple it. But we're asked to do 4½ times each one of these. So we're going to have to multiply 4½ times each of these ingredients. Remember, if this had been double, then we just multiply 2 by each one of them. But we're making 4½ batches. So we've got 4 and then half a batch of cookies. We have to multiply each one by 4½ So let's go about doing that. The first thing we need to multiply is 3/4 of a cup. So we'll multiply 3/4 times 4½ Well, let's first convert that to an improper fraction. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. That'll be 9/2. So 3/4 times 9/2. And that will be 3 times 9. That's 27. And that would be 8. Let's convert that back to a mixed number. 8 goes into 24 3 times. So that leaves us 3 more left over and 8. So 3 3/8 of flour. And for milk, we'll take 1½ so we'll convert that also to an improper fraction. And that would be 1 1/2. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. That's 3/2. 3/2 times 4½ which again was 9/2. And we'll multiply and we'll get 27/4. And this time 4 goes into 27. Well, 4 goes into 24 6 times, leaving 3 left over. So that's 6 3/4. That's the amount of milk. Finally, we'll do sugar. And we have 2/3 of a cup of sugar. We're going to multiply that again by 9/2, which is 4 1/2 converted to an improper fraction. We'll multiply across the top and multiply across the bottom. That gives us 18/6, and 6 goes into 18 3 times evenly. So we will have 3 3/8 cups of flour, 6 3/4 cups of milk, and 3 cups of sugar. And let's just quickly see if that makes sense. 3/4 of a cup. If we multiply that by 4½ does it seem to make sense that we would have almost but not quite 4 cups? Yes, it does. Same thing with both of these, and that is the answer to our problem. Here's our final problem. Nita and her brother find 3/4 of a bottle of orange soda in the refrigerator. Nia drinks 1/4 of the bottle, and her brother drinks 1/6 of the bottle. How much of the soda will be left? Once again, let's underline our question. How much of the soda will be left? That's what we're being asked. So what's the important information? We'll underline that. That's 3/4 of a bottle is what they found in the refrigerator. Nia drinks 1/4 the bottle. Her brother drinks 1/6 of the bottle. Alright, let's draw a picture just to kind of get an idea. So I'm not a very good artist, but I'm going to draw a bottle here. And it's a terrible looking bottle, and that's okay. They found 3/4 of a bottle. Now, Nia drinks 1/2 of that. She drinks, 1/4 of that. She drinks a glass, and it has 1/4. And her brother drinks another glass, and he has 1/6 of the cup of the bottle here. So 1/4 of the bottle and 1/6 of the bottle. So what are we trying to find out? What kind of operation are we doing? Well, we're going to take these two and put them together in a group, and then we're going to subtract that from 3/4. This is going to be a multi-step problem. We're going to add these two and then subtract them from this. So we'll take, first of all, and add these two. 1/4 plus 1/6. What is that? Well, we have to make sure we have common denominators. So what is something both 4 and 6 go into? Well, I could do it the easy way and simply multiply it by 6 on this side and 4 on this side. But I also know that 4 and 6 both go into 12. Now I'm going to take a different way. And I know that 4 times 3 gives me 12. So I multiply this by 3. I have to multiply the top by 3. That is going to give me 3/12. 6, to get 12, I had to multiply it by 2. So I'll multiply the top by 2, and I'll multiply the bottom by 2, and that will give me 2/12. And I'll add those together, and I will get 5/12. That's how much they drank of the bottle. But it wasn't a full bottle, it was only 3/4 of a bottle. So now I have to subtract 3/4 minus 5/12. And what do I need to do next? Make sure that I get a common denominator. Once again, I could multiply by 12 over here and 4 over here, but I know that 4 goes into 12. So I'm simply going to multiply the top and the bottom by 3, and that will give me 9/12 minus 5/12. And then, with a common denominator, I can just subtract across the top, and that will give me 4/12, which can then be simplified because 4 goes into 12. If I divide 4 by 4, I get 1. If I divide 12 by 4, I get 3. And my answer is 1/3. How much of the soda is left over after they drink their 2 drinks? It is 1/3 of a bottle. Then I need to check my answer. So I need to make sure that whatever is left over is smaller than what we started with. So I have to compare 3/4 and 1/3. And to do that, I need, again, a common denominator. Well, this time I'm just going to do my little trick and multiply both sides by the other. So this side I multiply by 4 over 4, which is 1, so it doesn't change anything. 3 over 3, again, just 1, it doesn't change anything. And that will give me 9/12. And that is compared to 4/12. And which one is larger? 9/12 is larger, so this does make sense.